Hello everyone, my name is Ronak and you're watching Vecto-Art. In today's video we will learn how to use a UI framework called Modern UI WPF UI in WPF. So without any further ado, let's get started. So let's start by creating a WPF app with .NET Framework. Let's give the project a name and set a desired location and then click on create. Now that we have our project ready, let's go to tools and NuGet package manager and manage NuGet package. Now in the browse, let's search for modern WPF UI. Okay, and select the first one. Select the project and click on install. You can also do this using the package manager console. I will add the install command in the linked description. So once this is installed, a readme text file will be opened. So don't close it. Close the NuGet package manager tab and then just once build the application. We have one error which we will resolve later. So let's copy the code from the readme text and paste it in the app.xaml file. So let's add the reference first. After we are done adding the reference, we will copy the resource content from the readme file and paste it under the resources. So let's go to the readme text file and copy the resource dictionary, and let's go back to the app.xaml file and paste it inside the resources. Okay, now we have one more thing to do, and that is the change in the the main window XAML page. So let's copy the code for the main window and paste it in the references. Done. So I think yeah, that's done. So let's build the application once, and you will see that we have that error. So let's resolve that. So for that you'll have to go to Solution Explorer, References, and click on Migrate NuGet package. So once you do that, the error will be resolved. Okay, so now if you build the application, you will not get that error. Done. Okay, so now we'll have to load the tools. So for that you will have to go to your application folder, and then in bin debug you have to find the controls DLL file, drag it and drop it in the general tool window. It will take some time, a few seconds, and you will have all the controls. So in this video I will go through a couple of controls and leave the rest for you to explore. So let's start first with the app bar button. So this app bar button is actually used inside a command bar, but first I will explain it to you. And this documentation is also available in the description. So this app bar looks like this. So let's take the code from this documentation and paste it in our application. So I'll leave the last one for you to explore. So go to the XAML file. Okay, inside the grid just paste it. So we have some errors. That is because we have to prefix with the UI tag, name tag. So let's do that for all the buttons, and also let's comment the last two buttons, and let's start with the first button. So let's comment this and the last button as well. Okay, and now we have our first button. We'll change the icon to a help icon first. So this button have icons, and those icons also have labels. So let's get rid of this like text, and let's add a help icon first. And also I think we'll have to remove the click event, which is copied from the documentation. Okay, uh, okay, that's done. Let's run the application. Okay, it's first time, so it takes some time. So you can see that we have that help icon, and the button is nicely stacked. Now let's change the icon to like again. And save and run the application. So you will see that icon changing. See, yeah, so you can go through the icon list from the documentation and add your desired icons. So next we'll look at the second button, or the second approach, wherein we have the um, bitmap icon inside. So instead of an icon tag, we are going to use a bitmap icon, and we will set our custom icons. So you will use the URI source, and this source we can browse from our project directory or any path. So you can go to the miscellaneous, and here you will find URI source. You can browse it and select the desired icon. So once you do that, you can run the application. Before that, let's get rid of the click event and run the application. And you will see that we have the icon that we have browsed. Okay, so next we'll go to the third approach, which is actually a font icon. So font icons are basically glyph icons. You can add any text, and those will serve as an icon. You can use the special characters on your keyboard, or any character, or you can get custom Unicode characters and get their hexadecimal code or character code and paste it in that. I will also add a link to that description in the description for that document. You can get the code and paste it in the glyph property. So this is the text that you have to paste. So you can go to the PDF, which I have added the link in the description, and get the code for that, the Unicode text, copy it and paste it after the ampersand hash sign. Okay, so after you do that, if you run the application, so you will have that character as an icon. So that's done explaining about the app bar button. So next we'll move on to the command bar. So this command bar is actually the place where the app button, app separator, and toggle buttons are placed. So we will see the command bar. Before that, let's see the small control, that is the auto suggestion box. So for that we'll again go back to the documentation and copy the code from there. Okay, this is like a small search bar, and it will give you suggestions. It will store it in its memory. It has couple of events which will help you do that. Okay, so in the documentation, so you can see the documentation here. It has all the details you require. So let's copy the XAML content, paste it, and there is a text change event, query submitted event, and a suggestion change chosen event. So all these events can be um, changed in the code behind file. So we'll add the events in the code behind file. So for that, we'll go to the documentation, copy the template, and then you can use these text changed, suggestion chosen, or query submitted events to make changes to the auto suggestion box. There are other things as well. We can change the icons also. For that, instead of a search icon, you can go for any different icon. We are missing some references, so let's use the help and add the necessary references, and let's run the application now. We are also missing a curly brace. Yeah, okay. Let's run the application, and you will see a nice auto suggestion search bar. Even the placeholder text search, we can change the property of that, and instead of a search text, we can add something else, any custom input that you want. So let's close this, get rid of the code behind changes that we made. So these are the events. Okay, so I think we'll get rid of the code behind, and let's move on to the next control, and also we will get rid of the XAML. Okay, so now we will see the command bar. So let's go back to the help, go under menus and toolbars, and under command bar flyout, let's click on the command bar, and you can see we get this cool command bar. We can populate it with any buttons, and those buttons, when I say buttons, it is basically a app bar button. So we'll add the UI name tag prefix for all the controls that we have added. You can see we have a app bar toggle button and an app bar we have app bar buttons. So this command bar holds all these app bar buttons. Okay, yeah. We will also get rid of the click event for each button that we have. So this is the separator. This is how we use it, and these are the app bar buttons. So let's get rid of the click events for each button. We have missed a double quote. Okay, now let's run the application, and you will see a nice cool looking command bar on the top. Okay, so you can replace it with any icon, any content, and have a different event for each button and a different operation. So that's done with the command bar. So we'll get rid of the XAML, and next we will, these are the basic controls like drop down, grid view. So all these are the common controls. And then next we will move to the navigation view. So this is also one of the cool control that we have. So let's go to the documentation, and you will see that this side panel kind of navigation we get. And these navigations are not just on the left hand side, but we can also change the position to top, right, left. We can even make it compact. We can make it minimal, just a hamburger icon. We have different display modes, different anatomies. So you can explore this document, and I will just copy the XAML from this documentation and paste it. So I am just taking the navigation view from here, paste it here, and add the UI tag. So even here, if you see a navigation view, you have the other child elements like navigation view, uh, items. So this is how we use them. And now let's run the application, and you will see a nice hamburger menu on which on click of which will the side panel will load. This is more of a Windows 10 look and feel. Okay, so let's next we'll look at the number box. So let's search for the number box in the documentation. So it is used to display and edit numbers. You can add different kinds of calculations and also different bindings for the value property. We can even add a header text for the number box. We can even add a placeholder text which on enter will disappear. So we will look at this particular number box. So let's copy the number box XAML code and also the next one. So let's go to a XAML, paste it, and add the UI tag. Get rid of the value property binding. We don't need it now for this, but yes, you can of course explore that. So next we'll copy the second XAML that we have there, just to demonstrate the two types in the documentation. The rest you can explore later. So yeah, so that's done. Let's get rid of the binding that we have, and since it is in a grid, it is overlapping, so we will reduce the size and the position, change the position. If it is a stack panel, it would have stacked it horizontally or vertically, but since it's a grid, it has overlapped. um, yeah, so let's resize it and reposition it as well. Okay, so now let's run the application and see this in action. if you type a number, you can use the arrow keys to increase or decrease the value in the number box. And here you can see the two different ways of doing that. Okay, so let's close this, remove the XAML, and move on to the next control. So let's check out the person picture. This is one more nice feature to show profile or user images. So if you search profile per picture, you can see this documentation where it is clearly which clearly shows how we can use this. And we'll go to the example now, and let's copy the code for the person picture, paste it in our XAML, and after we paste it, I think we'll have to load a different picture, since that picture won't be available. So we'll have to change it. So let's add the UI tag, and in the profile picture property, let's go to the properties and change the profile picture. Okay, so you can see that the profile picture is loaded in a circular shape. You can resize it, you can reposition it. Yeah, I think we'll add a button next to it. So we'll add a stack panel, and inside that stack panel we'll place the person picture control, and next to that we'll place the button. Also we'll set the orientation to horizontal so that it stacks next to each other. Okay, let's take our person picture control and paste it inside the stack panel, and also get rid of the margin so that the button is populated next to it. Also remove the click event of the button, and get rid of the margin. Okay, so that's done, and then let's run the application. So that is how we load. So all this controls can be loaded dynamically from the code behind. This is just to demonstrate how we can use them. So the picture property can be loaded from the code behind. And now we will move to the progress ring. So this is also one of the Windows style progress bar. So if you search for it in the documentation, yeah, so that's the progress ring. And if you go to the examples, you can copy the code for XAML, copy it, paste it inside the grid, and then let's add the UI tag, and then we'll have to add the code behind. Let's increase the size of the progress ring. So just drag the anchor points. Okay, let's go to the code behind, and so you can see that we are making use of the toggle switch already. So I think we do not need a demonstration of that. So let's copy the code from the documentation and paste it in the code behind, and let's run the application. So on click of the toggle, we see this nice progress bar. So that's done. Let's get rid of the code behind changes. Undo the changes, and then also the stack panel. Okay, now let's move on to the rest of the buttons are the generic ones, radio buttons and all. So let's move to the rating control. This is new. So this is used for giving rating to certain things. For example, a movie or a book, anything that basically requires a rating. So we can take the XAML code from here in an example XAML code and paste it in the grid. Add the UI tag, and also let's take the code behind content. We have some value here, so we'll just hard code it to 5 for now. And then we'll run the application. But in real time you will be loading a value from the database. Okay, so that's done. So you can see this nice ratings, and whatever rating you give, it changes its state to blue. Okay, so let's undo the code behind changes and also remove the rating control. Next we will look into the last control for this video, that is the split button. For that I will show you one more thing. Let's check out the flyouts. So this is a cool way of showing a pop-up. So let's copy the XAML code from here. Here they have demonstrated it using a button, but we will change it to a split button. So let's remove the button and change it to a split button. Okay, and then also get rid of the content that we have there. Change that to a split button. Add UI tag to the flyout, and also add a ending tag to the split button. We have an extra colon there, so let's add that, and also add a content to the split button. So let's go to the properties of the split button, and add a content. Let's type submit. Okay, so now let's run the application, and you will see that the first button, the first part of the button will we can add event to that, and the second will use as a flyout. So when we click on it, it will show a nice tooltip or a message, so we can make use of this. This is a new control that we get from the modern WPF UI. And that's it, guys. I think I have explained enough of the tools from the toolkit. I hope you all liked watching this video. If you do, please subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. Like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.